Hi, everyone. I'm Keith Mathis with the Mathis Group. We are a premier ATP with the Project Management Institute. We have been preparing PMP exam candidates since 2006. Today, in 7 minutes to PMP Mastery, we're going to talk about the Stacey complexity model. So the purpose of Stacey's complexity model is it helps project managers understand how much uncertainty exists in a project when choosing the best delivery approach. For the PMP exam, you want to think of the model as a way to answer this question. How clear is the project? How predictable is the best way to deliver it? Now we've talked about value in other videos, but what you're looking for, you're trying to reduce risk as you're providing the project. And the model or the actual approach could make a difference on what and how you're doing this. The purpose of Stacey's complexity model is agreement about what is needed. So do stakeholders agree on the goals, the requirements, the priorities, and success criteria? Are business needs clear? Is there alignment among the sponsor, the customer, the team, and key stakeholders? Certainty about how to deliver. Does the team know the technology, the solution, the method, the process? Has this type of work been done before with the organization? Can the team estimate and plan with confidence? All of these pieces make a difference on whether we feel more comfortable with one model compared to another. As agreement and certainty decrease, the project becomes more complex. So the project manager should not automatically force a predictive plan or jump to agile. The correct PMI mindset is to assess the uncertainty, collaborate with the right people, and tailor the development approach. And that's going to make more sense on the actual test as well. So this is what we're talking about with the Stacey complexity model. So you'll notice here that you have 4 quadrants here as you're looking at certainty compared to agreement. And so at the bottom where you have low certainty and low agreement, then you're looking at chaotic. And so you're looking at low agreement, low certainty. The act is going to be act, sense, and respond. Very chaotic. As you look at high certainty and low agreement, you're looking at it's complicated. So you still have sense, analyze, and respond. Good practice, expert judgment, but once again, it's a little bit of a challenge. When we have high agreement but low certainty, then what you're looking at is you're probing, sensing, responding, emerging practice, enabling constraints. And then the highest one here, which is typically going to be the most simple, is you're looking at high certainty and high agreement is you're going to sense, categorize, and respond. And so the best practice, standard process is because everybody's on board. So this is something for you to take to make sure you understand. As agreement and certainty increase, the environment becomes less complex and more suitable for predictive approaches. So the more complex it is, the more agile it really needs to be. And so that will help you a little bit. And then, of course, spend a little bit of time with this because this is one of the models that does come up on your test under the assessments. On the exam, Stacey complexity model appears in questions about choosing a project lifecycle, tailoring the development approach, handling unclear requirements, managing stakeholder disagreement, responding to technical uncertainty, deciding when experimentation, prototyping, or iterative delivery is appropriate, recognizing when a predictive plan is unreliable because there's too much uncertainty exists. So they can put this model into a lot of different type of questions for you. So the PMI exam mindset. So how do you think about Stacey's complexity model for the PMP test? So you assess the uncertainty. That is typically one of the best first steps. You don't jump automatically to a solution. You assess the uncertainty. And so we've given you several questions here. Before choosing a life cycle, the project manager should understand several things, just what we talked about. Number 2, collaborate with the right people. The project manager is not going to do this alone. And so you're going to have a series of people depending on how the test question asks it. And then you're going to tailor the approach. Remember, tailoring is part of the PMP test like crazy now. So you want to tailor the right approach. And then last, protect value delivery. Choose the approach that delivers value while managing risk. You're not just completing a project, you're delivering benefits and value to the customer. So you assess first, collaborate, tailor, and then protect the value. And by following those steps, you'll come up with a better answer for your test question. Let's take a look at our PMP style exam question here. So a financial services company is launching a new customer onboarding platform. The regulatory reporting requirements are clearly defined and must be documented before release. However, the customer experience features are uncertain because the organization is entering a new market and does not yet know which onboarding steps will reduce abandonment. The sponsor wants a delivery approach that satisfies compliance expectations while allowing the product team to learn from customer feedback. During a planning workshop, several stakeholders disagree about whether the project should be managed using a fully predictive or fully agile approach. The project manager uses Stacey's complexity model to assess the situation. What should the project manager do next? Now remember, sometimes they'll ask, what will you do next? And they're really not asking you what you would do next. They're asking you, what does the process or the system say we should do next? A, select a predictive approach because regulatory requirements are fixed and must be documented before release. B, select a fully agile approach because customer experience requirements are uncertain and need frequent feedback. C, recommend a hybrid approach that uses predictive controls for compliance-related work and adaptive techniques for uncertain customer experience features. And D, ask the sponsor to choose the project lifecycle because stakeholders do not agree on the best approach. So take a look at this for a moment. So what is your answer? Think about that for a moment. Now, the correct answer was C. The scenario contains both predictive and uncertain work. The regulatory reporting requirements are clear and require documentation, governance, and control. That portion of the work may be well suited to predictive planning. A hybrid approach best fits the project context because it preserves necessary governance while enabling learning in high uncertainty contexts. This is exactly the type of judgment PMI expects for you to assess the project context, recognize the different levels of uncertainty, and then tailor the delivery method. So let's look at the other answers. Remember, you're choosing the best answer on the PMP test. So select a predictive approach because regulatory requirements are fixed and must be documented before release. This answer focuses only on the predictive part of the project. It's partially reasonable because compliance work does require control and documentation. PMP logic for this is a partially true answer is not always the best answer. The best answer addresses the whole scenario, so that only addresses part of it. B, select a fully agile approach because customer experience requirements are uncertain and need frequent feedback. This answer focuses solely on the project's uncertain part. It is partially reasonable because agile techniques may help discover customer experience. PMP logic would be that adaptive does not mean ignoring compliance, documentation, or governance. And then answer D, ask the sponsor to choose the project lifecycle because stakeholders do not agree on the best approach. This is not the best answer ever, because the project manager should be facilitating that decision-making process, not passing it off to someone else. And so the sponsor may be involved, but simply handing the decision to the sponsor avoids everything about PMI and project manager's responsibility to assess the complexity of this. Hey, as we come to the end of the video, let me thank you so much for being part of this video and watching. I hope it's helped you as you looked at Stacey complexity model. We do PMP exam prep classes every other month, and I teach those, and people tap in. We do it virtually so people can tap in from all over the world. I'd love to have you in a class. If I can help you in any way, here's my contact information, and we can see about building a customized course for you if you'd like. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope it's been beneficial to you. Have a great week. Bye now.